Hi and hello everyone. Good morning or good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. Actually, um, I decided to answer some questions that are not clearly explained during our last webinar, and I hope that this one will clarify some concepts. Okay, the first question is from engineer Sergio Bordios. I hope I pronounced your name clearly. Sir, magpa-function ba ang system if ang supply ay 20 milliampere or 0 volts? The answer is no, of course. No electrical system could function if the voltage or current is zero. Hindi mag-function yan. However, that value of voltage or current is not being used for power supply ng system. Rather, it is considered as a signal. A signal that represents the value of the process variable. In process control, there are four main process variables, namely flow, level, temperature, and pressure. So in this case, the 4 to 20 milliampere will be used to represent them so that we can measure them accordingly. Now, from the diagram presented in this slide, we will just consider a level control system to simplify our explanation on how this works. As you can see, the level of the water from the tank can be from 0% or empty or up to 100% full capacity now. The instrument that can convert these values is the level transmitter, which is installed here. Um, when the level of the water is empty, the transmitter will deliver a current of 4 milliampere, or if it is full, then 20 milliampere. Also, you can see that in between these values, there is a linear relationship between them. Say, for example, at 25% water level, the transmitter produces a current of 8 milliampere. Just remember that they have linear relationship and just apply simple ratio and proportion in case the values are not in exact form, like 63% or 27%. Sana nasundan po natin. And in the output side, the controller also can produce these analog values. I mean the 4 to 20 milliampere or 0 to 10 volts DC. But unlike in the input side, the signal here will be used to run the actuator. In this example, the actuator is a pneumatic level control valve. The 4 to 20 milliampere will be converted to a pressure signal of 3 to 15 psi. This pressure value is also a standard in the industry. The one responsible for converting this current value is the I to P transducer or converter. I means current, and P means pressure. Kaya tinatawag ito na IP transducer. Mamaya, I'll give brief explanation how this device works. In this case, pag ang value ng current is at 4 milliampere, the corresponding value of pressure is 3 psi, and the valve is fully closed. In the same logic, pag ang value ng current is 20 milliampere, the pressure will be 15 kNc, and the valve will be fully open. And again, in between, there is also a linear relationship among current pressure and the percentage of valve opening. So for the next question from Engineer Victor Branzuela, question po niya is, Sir, sa signal na 4 to 20 milliampere at 0 to 10 volts, bakit di po 4 milliampere at di po, ano ba to? Bakit di po 4 milliampere at di po 0 or 1 milliampere? Or bakit din po 0 volts at 0 to 10 volts? Okay. The short answer to this question is this is already the standard in the industry. I don't know how it began, but definitely vendors of instruments, controllers, and other devices must conform to these values. Otherwise, there will be no customers who will buy product for a reason of simply they can't use it. Another answer falls in the principle of live zero and dead zero. The 4 to 20 milliampere is called live zero. because the zero value of the process variable is represented by 4 milliampere, which of course not a zero value. Live zero can avoid misrepresentation of measured value. For example, if we use 0 milliampere to represent 0% of level, then what will happen if the power supply of the control system fails while the actual value of the process variable is, say, still at 40%? Definitely, it can trigger misrepresentation because the actual level is 40%, but the reading of the electronic devices will be zero. So, to avoid this, a live zero signal is used. On the part of dead zero, like in 0 to 10 volts DC, it can be used in the output side of the controller because the purpose of this is to operate the actuators. If we want to switch off or close the actuator, we can send 0 volt signal to the actuator. And there's no issue about that. That's all. Now, as promised, I'll give a brief explanation how I2P transducer works. As you can see from the diagram, there is a supply air with a pressure of 20 psi. The 4 to 20 milliampere will be used to supply to small coil that would tend to move the flapper up and down. When the gap is small, there will be big back pressure that will cause to increase the pressure signal below. The maximum pressure that it can deliver here is calibrated at 15 psi. Also, when the gap is huge, there will be more air that evaporates in the nozzle, causing the back pressure to be less. In this case, the pressure below is also less, and it is calibrated to have a minimum value of 3 psi. And okay, that's all. Thank you very much.